6:36 now. It's been less than a week since singer-songwriter Jimmy Buffett passed away at 76 years old, and parrotheads all over are still really feeling that loss.
But now we are learning that Key West's adopted son died after a 4-year battle with a rare and aggressive form of skin cancer called Merkel Cell Carcinoma, or also known as MCC. And as our Dani Travis found out, doctors here in South Florida are hoping Buffett's battle will help raise awareness of this potentially deadly cancer. Dani?
Yes, Matt, Stephanie. Well, most people have probably never heard of Merkel Cell Carcinoma. Now, a dermatologist tells me the first symptoms of MCC is usually a fast-growing, painless tumor deep under your skin. And like most skin cancers, you guys, excessive exposure to sunlight is usually the culprit, and that's something most South Floridians know a little about. Now, these tumors most often appear on sun-exposed skin in fair individuals, usually over the age of 50. According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, MCC is about 40 times more rare than melanoma and 3 to 5 times more deadly. In fact, there are only about 3,000 cases nationwide every year. Dr. Monir Wasif, a dermatologist at Palms West Hospital, has only seen a handful of cases in his career. He says because the tumor is painless and doesn't look like much, it usually goes undetected until it's too late.
Are working with our genetics. So if someone is genetically predisposed to making such a cancer or any other skin cancer, when you put yourself out and have the environment working against you, as well as your genetics, this is more recipe for having the problem. So being cognizant of our good weather and enjoying it, at the same time we need to be vigilant and protective ourselves.
That's why Dr. Wasif says protection is key. And the good news is there are easy steps you can take to protect yourself. Avoid the hottest time of the day, which changes depending on the time of the year. Wear protective clothing like long sleeves, hats, and sunglasses. Remember to reapply your sunscreen and keep an eye on your skin. And of course, have a friend check your back. Now, Dr. Wasif says MCC can be prevented with proper precautions and regular screening. After all, you guys, there is a reason that Florida is called the Sunshine State. So if you see or feel anything that's concerning to you, use that as a reason to go get checked.
Another big story tonight. Residents in Jupiter fired up over the city's plans to part ways with the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. City leaders are moving forward now with plans to create its own independent fire department. It's a move that the city says will save tens of millions of dollars. CBS 12's Luli Ortiz, she was at tonight's city council meeting where the vocal opposition is asking why residents didn't have a say in all of this.
Some residents say they're upset, they're confused about the lack of transparency, and they just want to know why some council members want to get rid of what they call over 40 years of excellent service with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. Well, town officials argue they actually gave residents over a year to speak up. It's a big topic happening inside a small council chamber, clearly at full capacity.
Please don't do this to your community. Don't do this to your residents.
Residents are in a period of uncertainty as they beg leaders to not move forward with terminating emergency services provided by Palm Beach County Fire Rescue to create its own local fire department in Jupiter. The town claims this move will give them more control over costs, operations, and levels of service.
I beg you, please, to reconsider. The cost of this is going to be extreme. Those numbers on paper are numbers on paper, though so far from reality.
You will also see that many want this on a ballot. Instead of listening, you double down and you ignore us. A decision of this magnitude should not be made by 3 people.
We deserve a vote. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue has provided the town of Jupiter excellent service for the past 40 years. The amount of resources and experience they provide cannot be replaced.
Last month, during a council meeting, which featured a presentation about starting a local fire department, suddenly ended with a vote to cut ties with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. According to the town, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue proposed charging $28 million in 2024. That's $8 million more than the town was paying in 2020. Creating its own fire rescue is expected to save taxpayers $68 million over the coming 10 years. But according to Cameron May, the one council member who disagrees with this whole idea, says the startup costs for a new local department, including equipment and new fire stations, are expected to be the same exact $68 million, probably more.
If we get overwhelming majority of residents say, yeah, start Jupiter Fire Rescue, love the plan, I'll be the first one to say I'll help. But I'd rather see the residents come out and vote for that.
And after many back and forths between council members, the mayor quickly adjourned the meeting. And as of right now, they're still moving forward with creating their own Jupiter Fire Rescue Department.
Local law enforcement launching a full investigation now into who's responsible for hate-filled flyers littered across driveways in several communities. Those anti-Semitic flyers, they were found in Palm Beach and Okeechobee counties yesterday. CBS 12's Lena Salzbank has more on who might be behind them and the trouble they could face under the state's new anti-Semitic law.
Over the weekend, flyers popped up again, spewing hate and propaganda against the Jewish community.
There's no place for this in our city. You know, if you're expressing hate against one group, you're expressing hate against all of West Palm Beach.
Mike Jackals with the West Palm Beach Police Department says its officers picked up dozens of Ziploc bags filled with hateful messages, and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says dozens more were found along driveways in Wellington. And it didn't end there. The anti-Semitic flyers were also found in Okeechobee County.
Earlier this year, city and state leaders have reported an uptick of anti-Semitic acts, specifically in the form of flyering. Now, law enforcement has said that their hands are tied because of First Amendment rights, but there have been new ordinances and laws that have tried to change that.
Back in April, Governor DeSantis signed a new law that would help bring harsher penalties to people distributing anti-Semitic information. With this law, people can now be charged with a third-degree felony. However, it has yet to be put into action. We asked State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg why.
We have a new law in the books, and we're eager to use it, but we could only use it against crimes that are committed after the law was signed.
Ehrenberg says that hasn't stopped his office from being proactive in fighting these actions under already existing laws.
We're the only jurisdiction that's prosecuting these guys. We put Nicholas Beishan into a courtroom where he pled guilty, and we asked for the maximum sentence.
For incidents that happened in January and March, Beishan, who was accused of throwing these anti-Semitic flyers into communities, pled guilty to resisting an officer without violence and misdemeanor charges for dumping litter.
To prosecute for littering has to be a large amount, so you've got to catch them in the act.
As the search continues for the person or people responsible for the flyering over Labor Day weekend, Ehrenberg says he is ready to prosecute them under the new law whenever they are caught.
And I look forward to enforcing this law against these neo-Nazis who should never feel welcome in Palm Beach County.